The purpose of the Global CFO Council is to provide an educational and networking forum for senior financial executives in order to share best practices, discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their jobs. Membership is open to senior financial executives including CFOs, financial VPs, and treasurers. We hope that you'll become a member of the Global CFO Council today. To join, please visit the membership tab at globalcfocouncil.com.
Sandeep, good morning for me and good afternoon, I think, for you. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a sunny afternoon in Dubai.
Sandeep Cardoza is the CFO at Dutco Tenant LLC. It's a construction company, as you said, based out of Dubai. And I think you got your undergraduate in commerce from the University of Mumbai. And I think you're a member of the Association of Chartered Accountants. I think you're also have taken either a member or taken some classes with the IMA, Institute of Management Accountants, in something I have a super passion around, data analytics and visualization of data. Huge passion of mine. I look forward very much to talking to you about that. And something interesting that I think I know about you, and I hope is true, because I need to clarify something that my grandfather told me 30 years ago. I think you are from the western coastal region of India. And the reason I know that is that my grandfather spoke many, many languages, and including Portuguese. And he said that he could communicate with friends and business colleagues when he traveled to the western coastal region of India because Konkani was very similar to Portuguese. And is that true?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I mean, I actually I have been immigrated for some time now. So my parents are actually from the Konkani speaking region in India. But due to work, my dad migrated to Mumbai, where I was born and brought up. And then I am now migrated to Dubai actually. So I work and live here now. So yes, I mean any question closer to Konkani, I can definitely answer.
Well, have you ever met anybody who spoke Portuguese and noticed that the language was similar to your native tongue?
It is. It is. So the town in, I should say, the state actually in India, Goa, right, which is very famous for tourism and for sunny beaches there also. The language spoken there is Portuguese, which is very similar to Konkani. And then there was movement of people of presumably, and my forefathers or grandfathers actually originate from there.
Well, that's awesome. Maybe my grandpa met your grandpa and had a conversation sometime. Pretty cool. What a small world. Great beginning. Let's get started. Sandeep, question number 1. What is your favorite business book and why?
This is from it's a memoir from Robert Iger, Ride of a Lifetime. So it was quite popular, and I got it introduced from Bill Gates actually, who keeps writing these Gates notes, and from there I learned that it was recommended by him. And when I read the book, actually I felt that it was very clear. The title of the book as well as the narration was a match, right? So it was a ride, and it was truly inspirational. And I look for this inspiration, right? So when you are inspired, you do great things. And the book about Bob Iger, actually he is referred to Bob in many of the conversations, is quite inspirational, both in terms of personal leadership as well as professional leadership. His acquisition of Pixar or Marvel, if I'm not wrong, and the disruption which he caused within the organization by implementing Disney Plus, right? Was quite a story actually. The narration which he's taken from where he started to how he took the organization and the growth of the organization So it is a book actually I felt covers all aspects of a life, probably, how your personal value system can act or enable you to make business decisions. How you treat, how you treat others, the emotion as well as, the professionalism which is required, the innovation. He talks about so much about innovation, creativity, and information, being true to what being real at any given point in time, and being polite as well as conveying that realism. These are all the business qualities which we should be inspiring to, or aspiring to. So that's what I liked, Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger. I have few quotes actually which I thought might be interesting, or people who have not read would like to would like to pick up the copy. One of the quote what he says is, I've taken a note of it so that I don't mess it up. If leaders don't articulate their priorities clearly, their people around them don't know what their own priorities should be. Time, energy, and capital gets wasted. I think that's very fundamental actually in terms of how especially people at C-level actually, which we the leadership which we need to provide to our colleagues should have the sort of clarity of priorities, and that will definitely rub on our colleagues actually, and they will align towards the vision of the company, and towards their own personal vision. So I felt that was quite an inspirational book from Robert Iger.
Wow, so good. Oh, Sandeep is bringing knowledge today. Let's go into question number 2. What is the best advice that you have ever received?
Yeah. I mean, it was my ex-boss, I should say, who gave me a very good advice. And I was a junior accountant at that point in time. I just had come recently to Dubai, and I was just getting acquainted with the culture here. I was getting into the work culture, how people, and Dubai is a place where, you have close to 200 plus nationalities, right? So at any given organization, you will have 5, 6 nationalities. Easily, you will interact with them, and there is a place where a lot of challenges or misunderstandings can get created with the way you communicate, because you're communicating with different nationalities, and people come from different origins. You might not be familiar with their cultures. So my ex-boss was, she put it very simply to me, saying that make things easier for others when you're asking or requesting some information. What she was trying to convey, which I later recognize, is having the empathy, right? Having the empathy to relate to others, having the empathy to step in their shoes and see information which you are asking. How does that correlate with their lives? And that has been a very cornerstone of my way of working actually from that point in time. So whenever I ask for information, whenever I am trying to analyze the data, right, I'm trying to look into or I'm trying to get into their shoes and see how they see things actually, how they analyze it. Especially with Dutco Tenant, we have close to 200 plus sales engineers actually working for us, and whenever we try to see from their way of doing things actually, then how they work in the marketplace, how they try to act, and that helps us to clarify so many things actually. So, and it is true with personal life also, being empathetic, being what your wife thinks or what your daughter thinks, is quite important actually to understand them and communicate better. So I felt that was a very good advice. Trying to make things easier for others, look from an angle of empathy.
So true. And something I needed to hear today. So thank you for that, Sandeep, that affirmation. And wow, 2 for 2 for our first 2 questions. I got high expectations for question number 3. What is a tool that you've recently started using, or a habit that you've recently picked up that you have found beneficial?
Yeah, sure. I'll give one bonus answer there, 2 of them. One is on the personal side, actually, which I found quite interesting way to look at it, is a time block planner. This I got introduced through the author called Carl Newport. American author. He's written this famous book called Deep Work, and I understood it's a personal productivity tool, and I'm trying my way around it. When you're juggling so many things around, I think that's a very good way to focus and draw energy from what you finish. So I would definitely recommend that for the members here. Also, I on the business side, what you picked up on earlier on. I'm a data analyst buff, right? So I like the tool which I'm learning new is Power BI, right? And I'm trying to understand for myself and seeing how it's going to be relevant to the organization I'm working on, and seeing what are the different ways of presenting information, right? So it's quite powerful in terms of how it could be implemented in the organization. Because one of the understanding I have is like when you create visibility, you create productivity, and then the productivity creates value for the shareholder ultimately. So visibility is quite very important in terms of and I think the Power BI's dashboarding tool and analysis tool are quite create a compelling story for them.
I have been telling young people that if you get a major in accounting, you should get a minor in data analytics. That it is so critical to be able to turn data into actionable information. And absolutely, Sandeep. And I have not learned how to use Power BI yet, but I think that is absolutely critical. And I've written down and underlined 3 times Power BI. All right. Speaking of that job, Sandeep, what is the best part of your current job?
It is definitely team, the team which I work with, right? So we have a fantastic group of people here, and the company is close to 40 plus years, right? So the culture which I have experienced here is quite unique to the Dutco Tenant brand. And what I find is the value system what we have here. One of the core value is entrepreneurship, which doesn't apply only to sales team, but it was derived primarily from the sales team. But then I think so. The support function has taken its own way of how you can create that, translate that value into into the productivity aspects of what finance is looking at, or the analytic aspect of what finance is looking at it. So the value system, the culture here is fantastic, right? And it helps me to and data analytics is one of my favorite, right? So I try to see where I can look at what information or data this can present to us, and how I convert that into insights. So that's the key bit actually, which I keep looking for it. But yeah, and there are other several things which you have to do. But always the cherry on the top is how once you extract that value from the data, it's a fantastic experience.
Sandeep, what about something personal about yourself that you wouldn't mind sharing with the rest of the CFO Council members?
Sure. So I'm a recent father again. So I have a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old, and it has been a fantastic time actually. Quite a few sleepless nights, but it's exciting actually, right? And my level of empathy has grown, I should say, being a father, I mean, and looking through that lens. So it is an experience only of once you are a father, actually you can, I think so. I think so. There are many who have told me that it was just a theory before. Now you can see that in practice. So that's something I would like to definitely share.
Well, congratulations. That is fantastic. I also have 2 kids, and nothing will test your communication skills and empathy than
Yeah.
trying to convince a 3-year-old to do something. So you are sharpening your skills that are directly applicable to your professional life. If you can get a 3-year-old to do anything, then you are an excellent communicator.
Yeah, sure.
Sandeep, question number 6, last question. It happened so fast. What's something I should have asked you, but I didn't? And what is your answer to that?
I think so. We did not cover so much of the place actually, right? Dubai, right? I'm not sure whether you have been to Dubai, but it is fantastic actually in the way it is. Its place in history as well as its place in the region, right? So we have defied a lot of odds actually in terms of how things are done here, how things have created here actually, and it's a model of success, right? So that rubs off a lot in terms of we as a profession, we as a professionals actually in the country. We recently concluded Expo 2020 actually because of the pandemic. It was moved to 2021. But what an expo it was, right? So close to 25 million people visited I think it was 24 million people who visited it. Given the pandemic and things like that, still they pulled out a very successful expo. And I have been to the expo site a couple of times actually, and it is just so fantastic actually. You felt like it's an oasis in the desert sort of a thing, where so many countries came together. Close to 200 country pavilions, and it was quite an experience. So we did not touch a lot of Dubai. You should definitely come to Dubai. And most of the members would love actually, especially the summertime.
I have heard nothing but wonderful things about Dubai. Everybody who's been has loved it. It is definitely at the top of my list of travel destinations. And please spread the word to fellow senior financial executives in Dubai. I would love to kick off a chapter and have a reason to come visit. And I have truly enjoyed this conversation. Sandeep, I found some themes here that you and our conversation was inspirational. I loved your passion around innovation and creativity, and that you have such an emphasis on the people side of business and teamwork and empathy. And it's something we need more of in this world. So thank you for speaking with me today. It was a pleasure to get to meet you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.